Hi, we're back. Chef Wiley teaching Kenny how to cook. So one of the things that we've run out of here is bread. So I found actually thanks to my friend Reggie, she posted on Facebook a link to some quick skillet breads. So I picked out one of the recipes that's made specifically for, you're showing our sad remains of our bread that's left?
Yeah, we're freezing bread now.
And that's all we have left. So we're gonna make some fresh now that we have time on our hands. And we're gonna make it in a classic 12-inch cast iron skillet. So if you have one of these laying around, pull it out. It'll come in handy for this.
I don't think people have many of those just laying around.
Actually, you'd be surprised. The first thing we wanna do is we wanna use a little bit of yeast. And my yeast, I haven't used it in a while. It's not expired, but we just want to make sure that it's alive. So we always do a little bit of a test. The recipe calls for 2 cups of warm water. You want it to be about 115 degrees. Yeah. No warmer than that, you'll kill the yeast. And colder than that, they'll be slow to wake up. It's kind of like their coffee in the morning. I'm gonna perk them up because they've been sleeping here for a while. So I've got just a little bit of the water here. And we're gonna add 2 1/4 teaspoons of this. Kenny, can you put 2 1/4 teaspoons?
All right, so
in there? That's equivalent to 1 yeast packet.
This is a tablespoon, so 2 1/4 teaspoons.
Yes. So this amount is equivalent to 1 packet if you have a packet of dried yeast. 2 1/4.
And a 1/4 teaspoon.
You got it. Yeah, that looks good. You got it. Okay, so you want to make sure that all these guys are damp. Got a little water, we're waking them up. And then we're going to take a little bit, excusez-moi, we're going to take a little bit of flour and sprinkle it on the surface.
All right.
And you'll be able to tell if they start blowing bubbles by putting the flour on there. Okay. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute. And while we're doing that, we're gonna get our other ingredients ready. We've got 3 cups of whole wheat flour. The original recipe calls for all whole wheat flour, but we're gonna do it with 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We'll see how we like it. Figure to get my kids to eat it, we won't go 100% whole wheat quite yet.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got these 2. Let's see. Oh, I see some bubbles. Do you see the bubbles for me?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but we've got the yeasties are starting to breathe, so they're still alive.
All right.
That's a good sign. So now what we want to do is we want to add the flour.
All right, so which set do we want to add?
Doesn't matter.
First?
Just keep it in the bowl, please. Just dump it in. Come on, you can do it. All of it, good. Okay, now the white flour. Oh, I said keep it all in the bowl.
Well, you told me to dump it all in too.
Okay, we
so.
also need 1 1/2 teaspoons of kosher salt. So can you put that in the bowl as well? The salt's right here.
Oh, yeah. So 1 1/2 teaspoons.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have our salt clearly labeled.
Okay.
All right, so 1 1/2 teaspoons, right?
Yes.
One and 1/2 teaspoons.
Now this is an easy recipe. It's supposed to be no fuss, no muss. So we're going to mix that up.
All right, are we going to use a whisk?
No, that would get really clumpy really quickly. Let's actually use a spatula.
All right.
There you go.
Spatula time.
So mix that up. It doesn't have to be perfect.
All right.
But get the liquid mixed in with the flour.
All right.
How's it feeling? Is it starting to come together?
Yeah, it's starting to blend together, and the whole wheat is starting to get a bit whiter.
All right. Let's see.
All the water is down at the bottom.
Yep, you got to mix the flour into it. Okay. Yeah, whoa. All right. Once it gets to a certain point, I've washed my hands. They are nice and clean. I'm just gonna get in there and start mixing it around.
Oh shoot, I need to wash my hands.
Oh, you know what? We didn't add the rest of the water. That's why it's not gonna be together. Can you add the rest of the water for me?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pour the water in.
Remember to add all of the ingredients.
Well, no, I only wanted a little bit to make sure our yeast was working.
All right.
Now this is gonna pull together and make a dough.
Can I try?
Absolutely. There you go. Have at it. That looks more like it. Okay, so once this comes together into a cohesive dough, you just want to put a lid on it. You can put plastic wrap on it. I'm trying to minimize the amount of plastic that disposable plastic that we use in the house. So as soon as this comes together, we're gonna put a lid on it and put it in a nice warm spot in the kitchen and just leave it for about an hour, and it'll grow and that yeast will come alive and start breathing, expelling their gases and puffing it up. And that's it. You can turn off the video. We'll come back to this when the dough has risen.
All right,
we're back. Our dough sat for a little bit longer than an hour because Mommy had a long conference call. So it has more than doubled. It's huge. So big, it's almost full. Now this is a no-knead recipe, so you don't need to knead it. I actually like kneading dough, but we're going to adhere to the recipe. All right. You got your cast iron skillet. You want to oil it down so that the bread doesn't stick as it's baking. So I'm going to put probably about 2 tablespoons of, you could use any oil you like. We're using extra virgin olive oil, and I'm just going to coat. And then Kenny, I want you, once I get this all greased, I want you to flip that dough into the pan.
All right.
Let me make sure this is good and great. Like all the little nooks and crannies are greased up. Looks good. I'm gonna wash my hand. Go ahead and flip that in.
Oh.
Is it coming? You can use the spoon to help it along. Okay.
This might take a while.
No, you gotta nudge it. You gotta.
No.
Kenneth, no, you gotta get in there.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
No, but it's oh, good.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna scrape the rest of the dough that's stuck in the bowl here. We don't want to waste any of that beautiful whole wheat flour. All right, Kenny.
Also, wheat flour. All right.
Yes.
All right. Is it time to add the other ingredients?
Now we're gonna put this evenly in here, so I'm just gonna kind of scooch it.
Can I try?
All right, yeah. I'm gonna try to make it even. Okay. The other way that you can do this, you got it pretty good. Looks pretty good. That's good enough.
It must be even.
Kenny, it's good enough.
Oh.
Please stop. So you can knock it a couple times.
All right.
Okay, so on the top, we want to put a little bit more oil. And we want to put some salt. I like a nice salty crust. Do you like a nice salty crust? All right. Do you want to sprinkle that just lightly? Very lightly. There you go. Beautiful. And then I think more for decoration than anything else, this recipe calls for 1.5 tablespoons of rolled oats. So just sprinkle a little bit over the top. That's more than enough. Just to make it look pretty.
Beautiful.
That's it. We're going to cover that and let it sit for ½ an hour. And we're gonna preheat our oven to 400 degrees.
All right.
And we'll be back in 30 minutes.
Back in 30.
All right, we're back. It's been 30 minutes. We've had this covered. You can see it's poofed up a little bit. gotten a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Looks good. Okay, so when bread bakes in the oven like this, sometimes it'll get bigger and it'll naturally crack open, which is beautiful and rustic. You can let it do that, or you can put little slits in it, and then that gives it, sometimes you'll see in a bakery, you put a slit in it, it has a beautiful slit on the top.
Those look amazing.
Yeah, so you can make a pretty pattern here. You could make little leaves, or you could just put a few slits. We're gonna start in the center and just do a couple of slits outward and see how that shows up.
Starburst shape.
Yeah. See if we like it, but you could get really creative with that. All right, there we go.
I've seen bakeries that do like amazing flower patterns on them.
They take just a razor blade and do a quick cut to the top. So we're gonna put that in a 400-degree oven.
Nothing deep, just a few thin slashes through the thing, and they'll make those beautiful lines that you see on bread.
That's right. You wanna go ahead and put that in the oven?
All right.
It's gonna bake for about 35 to 40 minutes. Yep. There we go. Slide it right in.
Ow.
You good? Oh, it's too heavy for you. There you go. All right.
Okey dokes.
It's a heavy pan. All right, that's it.
All right.
Check back in 35 minutes when it comes out of the oven.
Thank you. All right, we're back, and we have this beautifully toasted, very large
Bread is ready.
bread is ready.
All right. I'm just gonna transfer it over to the cutting board, and we're gonna give it a taste.
All right.
Okay, you've got the serrated knife there ready to slice it up.
It's like a big cookie.
It is kind of like a big cookie. All right, slice into it. No. You want to slice off a little thin slice off on the side.
Like.
Yes. No.
I'm confused.
Straight through. This.
All right.
All right. You want to give that a taste?
Sure.
Nice and warm, straight out of the oven.
Mmm.
How was it?
Delicious. Use some
A little butter.
butter.
A little jelly, maybe. There you go. What do you think? Thumbs up?
Absolutely. I'm gonna cut off a little piece here.
All right. That's it. Whoa. Straight across. And that's it.
Bread.
No knead. Whole wheat bread. I think I like kneading better. I can tell the texture's a little bit different. All right. Can you turn it off?
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.